I woke up to the sound of Emily's phone buzzing on her nightstand. It was pitch black, maybe 2 or 3 in the morning, and the screen lit up her face like a flashlight under a blanket. I blinked a few times, trying to focus. She didn't flinch, didn't even look surprised. Just rolled over, grabbed the phone like she'd been expecting it, and started tapping away, thumbs flying across the screen in the dark. Cleared my throat. "Is that work?" My voice came out dry. She didn't even look at me. "No, just a friend." "A friend?" "Yeah, Jess is going through something." She said it like that should end the conversation. But it didn't sit right. Jess? Since when did Jess text her in the middle of the night? And why was she smiling? Not a normal, polite smile. This one was softer, weirdly happy, like a secret she was enjoying by herself. She turned away from me, still typing, the glow of the screen reflecting in her eyes. I could barely see her face, but I caught that look. Not a tired look, not annoyed, something else. "Everything okay?" I asked, sitting up now. Emily sighed, like I was bothering her. "Yeah, Jason, it's fine. Go back to sleep." I didn't say anything else, but my chest felt tight. It wasn't just the phone. It was the way she didn't even try to hide it. Like I wasn't there. That was the part that cut the deepest. We hadn't been close lately. I chalked it up to stress. Her work hours got longer, and when she was home, she was either tired or glued to her phone. We'd stopped talking the way we used to, little check-ins, inside jokes, whatever made the day feel less like a routine. But this felt different. She put her phone back on the charger, turned over, and pulled the blanket up to her shoulder. No kiss, no goodnight, just silence. I lay back down, staring at the ceiling, heart thumping like I'd just run up a flight of stairs. Whatever was going on in that phone, it wasn't just Jess. I wasn't stupid. And that smile she had? I'd never seen it before. Not once in all our years together. And I couldn't stop thinking about it. I got up early the next morning, still tired but too wired to sleep. My mind had been stuck on that smile all night. I wandered into the kitchen to start the coffee. The pot was still warm, so Emily must have already been up and gone. That's when I saw it. Her mug sitting on the counter, half full, with a faint smear of lipstick on the rim. But it wasn't the usual soft pink she always wore. This was darker, like maroon or plum. Way bolder than anything I'd seen her put on before. I picked it up and stared at the stain like it was going to explain itself. I know it sounds stupid. It's just lipstick. But that mug hadn't moved in a week. And now here it was, like she suddenly decided to start wearing new shades and leaving it behind as a souvenir. I tried to shake it off. Maybe she bought something new. Maybe it was a free sample. But the second I tried to justify it, my gut said hell no. Something wasn't right. I wiped the mug clean and set it back down. I didn't want her to know I noticed. Then I pulled out my phone and typed out a quick text. "You still do your old PI stuff? Need to talk." Not over text. Rick replied within 5 minutes. "Diner off Route 12. 10 o'clock. Before I left, I checked myself in the mirror. Eyes bloodshot, jaw clenched tight. I looked like I hadn't slept in a week. The diner was dead except for 2 old guys at the counter. Rick was in the corner booth, sipping black coffee and scrolling his phone. He looked up, grinned, and stood. "Damn, Jay, you look like crap." "Appreciate the honesty," I said, sliding in across from him. Rick had always been the type who could smell bullshit from a mile away. We grew up 3 houses apart, used to race dirt bikes down by the creek. He joined the force out of high school, got burned out, and went private after some messy internal crap. "All right," he said, leaning forward. "What's going on?" I told him everything. The late-night text, the lipstick, the distance. I didn't dress it up, just laid it all out raw and simple. Rick listened without interrupting. He always did that. Made you feel like your words actually landed somewhere. When I finished, he nodded. "So what are you thinking? Affair?" I let out a long breath. "I don't know. Maybe. Maybe I'm just being paranoid. Maybe. Or maybe your instincts are right." He sipped his coffee, then pointed his finger like a gun. "You know how many cases I took that started with, 'I think I'm being crazy, but Turns out, most people aren't. I rubbed my hands over my face. I'm a damn mechanic, man. I work 10 hours a day and come home smelling like transmission fluid. She's out there in meetings, conferences, networking crap. I don't even know half the people she talks about anymore. Rick tilted his head. She climbin' the ladder? Fast. Way faster than she used to. Wouldn't be the first time someone got lost on the way up. He leaned back, arms stretched across the booth. You want me to poke around a bit? Nothing serious. Just see who she's spending time with. Where she goes after work. I hesitated. The idea of spying on my own wife made my stomach twist. But so did doing nothing. I don't know, man, I said. Feels wrong. Rick shrugged. So does getting cheated on. I stared out the window for a long second. Cars rolled by on the highway, people going wherever they go on a Tuesday morning like the world wasn't falling apart. You'd keep it quiet? I asked. I'm a ghost when I need to be. I nodded slowly. Let me think about it. Fair enough, Rick said, signaling for the check. But don't wait too long, Jay. If there's a fire, you want to see the smoke before it turns into flames. We stood up and walked out to the parking lot. He slapped me on the back. Call me when you're ready. I didn't say anything. Just got in my truck, started the engine, and stared straight ahead. Ready or not, something was coming. I didn't call Rick right away. I told myself I needed more time, more signs, more proof. So for the next few days, I paid attention. Real attention. Emily started working later, like way later. She'd text around 7 saying, running behind, then not show up until 10. She stopped cooking dinner completely. Didn't even pretend to microwave something. Her phone never left her hand, not even in the bathroom. Wednesday night, I noticed her laptop bag was gone from the kitchen table. She always dumped it there after work. Now it was missing by the time I got home. I asked, You head out today? She glanced up from her phone. Yeah, just grabbed coffee with Carla. I nodded like that made sense, but I knew it didn't. Carla moved to Phoenix in March. Then Friday morning, I was taking out the trash and saw a receipt folded up on the passenger seat of her car. I wasn't even looking for anything, just spotted it by accident. It was from Del Mar's steakhouse downtown. Expensive as hell. We used to go there for anniversaries, back before things got weird between us. Dinner for 2. 1 ribeye, 1 salmon. 2 glasses of wine. No mention of it. No leftovers in the fridge. That was it for me. That night, I got home around 6. Earlier than usual. Emily was upstairs in the bathroom, music playing, closet doors open. She came down half an hour later in a tight black dress I'd never seen before, with heels she couldn't walk in and perfume that smelled like it belonged to someone else entirely. I was sitting on the couch with a beer, pretending to scroll through my phone. She smiled, forced. Heading out with the girls. What girls? I asked without looking up. She paused for half a second. Danielle and them. Trivia night. I nodded slowly. Sounds fun. I was thinking we could stay in. Order takeout. Watch something. Emily tilted her head like I was speaking a different language. Maybe next week. I already said yes to them. She grabbed her keys and walked out the door like we weren't even married. I waited until I saw her taillights disappear down the road. Then I picked up my phone and called Rick. He answered fast. You good? No, I said. I need you to follow her. Where to? Not sure yet. She said trivia with friends. But she's dressed like she's meeting the damn president. Rick let out a breath. All right, I'll tail her. Keep my distance. Don't let her see you. You think I'm new at this? Just don't mess it up. I snapped. He went quiet for a second. I won't. I hung up and sat there, still on the couch, beer going warm in my hand. I didn't even want to drink. My head was buzzing too loud. I kept picturing her in that dress, the way she barely made eye contact before leaving. She didn't just lie. She didn't care that I knew. That was worse. Rick picked me up 15 minutes later in his beat-up Silverado, still running like a tank despite being older than most high schoolers. We didn't talk much on the way, just silence and engine noise. He parked a block away from Malone's, a trendy spot with live music and overpriced drinks. Definitely not the kind of place you go for trivia with Danielle. We killed the lights and cracked the windows. I could see straight into the outdoor patio through the side alley. And there she was, Emily, laughing, leaning in across a table from a guy I didn't recognize. Brown blazer, close-cut hair, clean-shaven. Way younger than me, probably early 30s. He looked like he'd never done a day of manual labor in his life. Rick lifted his phone, snapped a few discreet photos. That him? I don't know who the hell that is, I said. His name's Brian Ellis, Rick muttered, eyes still on his phone. Works at the same firm as Emily. Marketing analyst. Moved here from Michigan last year. I didn't answer. Emily tossed her hair over her shoulder, leaned forward, touched the guy's arm. Just for a second, but it was there, and he smiled like he owned the damn place. Look at her, I said, voice tight. She hasn't laughed like that with me in months. Rick gave a small nod. That's not business talk. That's something else. I watched her sip from a wine glass, the same bold lipstick now leaving marks on someone else's future. Brian leaned closer, said something in her ear. She threw her head back and laughed again. That sound used to mean something to me. Now it made my blood boil. She lied to my face, Rick, I said. Looked right at me and made up a whole story about trivia night. You sure you want to keep watching? He asked. I have to. I need to see it with my own eyes. And I did. For the next hour, I watched Emily act like someone I didn't even recognize, touching his arm again, sharing dessert, taking a selfie together. They didn't kiss, but they didn't have to. Every move screamed intimacy. This guy's slick, Rick said finally. Probably used to this kind of thing. He's charming, I'll give him that. Probably knows how to make women feel special. Is he married? I asked. Nope. Single. Clean record. Graduated from Michigan State. Bounced between 3 jobs before landing here. Pays rent late sometimes, but that's about it. I gritted my teeth. You think he knows she's married? He knows, Rick said flatly. He's not stupid. That ring's not exactly subtle. I watched Brian brush something off her cheek. Slow, familiar, like he'd done it before. My fists were clenched so tight my knuckles popped. I should walk in there right now and knock his teeth out. No, Rick said. That's what he'd expect. You make a scene, you lose. You want to hit him where it hurts? You think like a mechanic. You take apart the machine piece by piece. I didn't respond. I just kept staring. Rick lit a cigarette and cracked the window. I've seen this 100 times. Guy like him, he moves fast. Zero respect for boundaries. Probably sees married women as a challenge. I nodded slowly, eyes never leaving them. Then he picked the wrong one. Rick looked over. You sure you're ready for this? I turned to him. I don't want revenge. Not yet. I want the truth. I want to know how deep this goes. He flicked the ash out the window. Then we get smart. We don't chase. We document. I took a deep breath. Okay, let's start there. Because now I knew what I was dealing with. And I wasn't about to play dumb anymore. Emily got home just before midnight. I was in bed, lights off, pretending to sleep. Her heels clicked against the hardwood like they were trying to wake the whole damn block. She moved quiet through the bedroom, but not careful. Like she didn't care if she woke me or not. I heard the rustle of the dress coming off. The bathroom door creaked open, then shut. Water ran. The scent of that new perfume still lingered in the air, sweet, sharp. Nothing like the vanilla stuff she used to wear. When she climbed into bed, she didn't say a word. Just pulled the covers over and rolled to her side. I lay still, calm on the outside, boiling inside. The next few days I put on a show, played the role, made her coffee in the mornings, kissed her on the cheek before work, asked how her day was. She played along too, acted like nothing was wrong. But I noticed everything. She started coming home later, always with some new excuse: happy hour, team meeting, client dinner. Never once mentioned names. Never once offered details. She got sloppy with it too. One night she claimed she was out with coworkers, but she'd posted a story on Instagram, her reflection in a wine glass, Candlelit table. Captioned, much needed. No tags. No people. No damn coworkers. So I started checking. When she'd leave her phone charging in the kitchen, I'd wait. Wait until she was in the shower or out for a walk. I'd unlock it with her fingerprint while she was asleep. I knew the patterns. I knew her routines. Her messages were clean, too clean. Like she deleted entire threads before coming home. WhatsApp? Nothing. Instagram DMs? Cleared. But her photo albums told a different story. Selfies in her car wearing makeup she never wore around me. Pictures of food from restaurants we hadn't been to in years. One folder was hidden, locked behind Face ID. I couldn't get in without her phone pointed at her face. That's when it really hit me. She wasn't just lying. She was protecting it, guarding it. That night, I couldn't take it anymore. We were eating dinner, takeout from a burger joint. She picked at her salad, barely touched it. I kept my voice steady. "You've been working late a lot lately." She nodded, eyes still on her phone. "It's quarter close. Marketing gets crazy." I leaned forward. "You sure it's just work?" She finally looked up. "What's that supposed to mean?" "You've been different, distant. Always gone. Always on your phone. I barely see you anymore." She blinked, like she couldn't believe I was bringing this up. "I'm tired, Jason. That's all. Work's stressful. I have a life outside this house. Okay? Friends. Commitments." "Yeah," I said flatly. "Trivia nights. Team dinners. Late-night drives to nowhere." Her jaw tightened. "I don't know what you want me to say. I want the truth." She pushed her chair back. "I'm done with this conversation." I didn't stop her. Just sat there, chewing the inside of my cheek, trying not to snap. Later that night, I called Rick. "She's hiding something." "I know it," I said. "You're damn right she is," he replied. "Now it's just about how far you're willing to go." "I'm already in it, man. I'm too far in to back out now." Rick paused. "Then go deeper. Be smart. Be quiet. People like her? They trip themselves up when they think no one's watching." I nodded to myself, because whatever was still hidden in that locked folder, whatever she thought she buried deep, I was gonna find it. The next morning, I didn't go to work. Told the shop I had a family emergency, which wasn't even a lie. Emily had left early. Said she had a breakfast meeting downtown. She kissed me on the cheek before leaving like everything was fine. Like she wasn't living a second life right under my roof. As soon as her car was out of sight, I went to the bedroom. Her laptop was on the nightstand, plugged in, screen closed but not locked. Stupid move. I flipped it open and held my breath. No password. First thing I did was check the Messages app. Nothing but old, basic stuff. Looked too clean. But when I dug into the system folder, I found her time machine backup files. I knew enough to piece together deleted data. She wasn't a techie. I was. 15 minutes in, I cracked open an archived messages folder that hadn't updated in a while. That's when I saw it. Brian Ellis. Hundreds of messages. Late-night chats. Stupid heart emojis. "Can't stop thinking about last weekend. Your hand's still on me. I hate leaving you after a night like that." Photos. Some of her. Some of them together. A selfie of them on a balcony I didn't recognize. Wrapped in a hotel blanket, 2 glasses of wine on the table. The timestamp? 3 weeks ago. She told me she was at a work retreat. Another shot of her in that black dress, the one she wore the night she lied about trivia. Brian was behind her, hand on her waist. There were receipts, 2 PDFs from Airbnb. Calendar invites. Notes titled "Weekend Plans, Delete Later." She didn't delete them. She just hid them. I opened her browser history. Found flights bookmarked. Spa packages. A saved draft of an email to her boss asking about remote work options. It was all there. Clear as day. Not just a fling. Not just a mistake. This had been going on for months. I sat back in the chair, numb. Not angry. Not yet. Just wrecked. Everything I thought I knew, gone. The version of Emily I'd built a life with wasn't real. She'd been rewriting herself behind my back. I copied everything to a flash drive. Every message, every image, every receipt. Then I closed the laptop, put it back exactly how I found it, and walked out. Called Rick. "You were right," I said. "It's been going on a long time." He didn't say, "I told you so." He just waited. "I've got proof," I said. "It's all there. Texts, photos, hotel stays. She's planning her exit. Slowly, but it's happening." "You ready to confront them?" I exhaled hard. "Almost, but I want to do more first." Rick lowered his voice. "You thinking what I think you're thinking?" "Yeah." "Then we do it smart. I can help with the digital stuff. Guy like Brian? Probably all tied up in his phone. His work, social media, smart devices, everything runs through a screen. I want to ruin his comfort. Shake his world a little." Rick paused. "You sure you want to go there?" "I don't know what I want," I said. "I just know I'm not letting this slide. Not after all this. Not after the way she smiled at him like I never existed." He went quiet. "Then we move. Step by step. I'll map out a few targets. Nothing crazy. Just enough to make him sweat." "Do it," I said. I hung up and sat at the kitchen table, staring at the flash drive like it was a bomb. Because it was. And now I had to decide what to blow up first. I didn't sleep that night. Just stared at the ceiling with the flash drive on the nightstand like it was humming. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw their texts, her smile, his hand on her back. By morning, I was done sulking. Brian Ellis wanted to slide into my life like I was some clueless husband in a Hallmark movie. He had no idea who he was messing with. I'm a mechanic. Grew up rebuilding engines, rewiring dashboards, hotwiring my uncle's junkyard pickups for fun. Once you learn how things work, you learn how to break them. Quietly. Rick sent me a folder later that morning with Brian's basic digital footprint. Guy used the same handle for almost everything: socials, work logins, even his dumb Spotify playlists. Tech bro mistake. The first thing I hit was his Instagram. Didn't even need a password. I spoofed his IP and cloned a login session from a third-party app he'd linked. Boom, access. I posted a photo of Brian shirtless, flexing in the mirror. One I pulled from Emily's hidden folder. Captioned it, "Feeling cute today. Might ruin a marriage later." Zany face. Left it up for exactly 5 minutes. Long enough for screenshots. Then I deleted it and changed his password. Then I hit his email. The IT guy at my shop owed me a favor. Sent me a phishing link that looked like a work survey. Brian clicked it the next morning. Rookie. I got in through a session token. I didn't burn it all at once. Just planted seeds. Sent a calendar invite from his account for a fake meeting titled Internal Reorg, Termination Prep, Marketing Team, to 3 of his supervisors. Then I made his Nest thermostat glitch out, spiked it to 92 degrees at midnight for 3 days straight. Rick helped me clone the account and change the app's default settings. The final touch was a group text I crafted using his cloud-synced phone contacts. I sent this to 5 of his coworkers. "Sorry I missed the team meeting. I was balls deep in client development, winking face, if you know what I mean." I signed it with his name. By the end of the week, Brian's life was smoke. Rick called and said, "He's spiraling." His LinkedIn got deactivated. Somebody filed an HR complaint. "He's scrambling." I stayed cool. No gloating. No big moves. Just watched it unravel piece by piece. At home, Emily was tense. She'd started coming home earlier, eyes always on her phone, chewing her lip like something was off. Saturday morning, she said it out loud. "Brian's been acting weird lately." I looked up from my cereal. Yeah. His social media's a mess. He missed 2 meetings. Said his thermostat's been frying his apartment. I don't know. It's not like him. I kept my face blank. Maybe he's just stressed. She stared at me for a second. "You think I should check in on him?" I shrugged. "You're the one that knows him." I could tell she didn't like that answer. Later, while she was folding laundry, I caught her looking at her phone with this lost expression, like she was watching something slip through her fingers and didn't know how to stop it. Good. She had no idea how deep it went. how fast I could dismantle her little fantasy. And Brian? He thought he was slick. Thought he could walk into my world and take what wasn't his. But now the guy couldn't even log into his own damn Wi-Fi without second-guessing it. I wasn't finished, not yet. But I wanted him rattled. I wanted him scared of shadows. And for once, I didn't feel powerless anymore. By Tuesday afternoon, I had enough. Rick texted me a location pin, Maple Ridge Park, 15 minutes from our house. Said he spotted Emily's car there, tucked back near the walking trail entrance. I didn't ask questions. Just grabbed my keys and went. The sun was starting to dip, shadows stretching across the grass. I pulled up slow and parked down the road. Walked the trail until I spotted them through the trees. There they were, sitting on a bench near the pond like it was some kind of date. Emily had her legs crossed toward him, smiling soft like she used to smile at me. Brian leaned in, talking low, hand resting on the back of the bench. Real familiar. I stepped out from the trail and walked straight toward them. Neither noticed me until I was 10 feet away. Emily's head snapped up. Jason. Brian turned, eyebrows pulling together. Whoa! Don't move, I said, voice steady. Either of you. Emily stood up fast. What are you doing here? Brian stayed seated. I could see the panic flicker behind his eyes. I looked right at him. You really thought you could keep sneaking around with another man's wife and not get burned? He opened his mouth like he wanted to say something, then closed it. Emily stepped in. Jason, please. This isn't what it looks like. I ignored her, pulled the flash drive from my pocket and held it up. I've got screenshots, texts, hotel bills, photos. You in that cheap motel by the freeway. You in her car. You in her goddamn inbox. Brian stood now. Okay, look. No. You look. I cut in. You thought I was stupid. Thought I'd just keep fixing engines and coming home to leftovers while you took pieces of my life behind my back. Emily reached out. Jason. Don't. I stepped back. You don't get to explain. She dropped her hand. Tears welled up, but I didn't care. Brian finally spoke. It wasn't supposed to be like this, man. I didn't mean. Didn't mean to what? I snapped. Didn't mean to screw my wife for 6 months? Didn't mean to lie to your team, your boss, your friends. He shook his head, stumbling for words. I know about the thermostat, the emails, the group texts. I said, you think all that was bad? I've barely started. He froze. You keep this up. Keep showing your face around her. Keep texting, calling, whatever. I go public. Your office will see every photo. Your parents. Your landlord. I'll spread it so wide you'll have to move across the damn country to start over. Brian's face went pale. You'd ruin my life? You already stepped into mine. Difference is, I know how to finish what I start. Emily was crying now. Jason, please, don't do this. I turned to her. You made your choice. You looked me in the eye every night and lied. You thought I wouldn't find out. You thought I'd just lay down and take it. I didn't want to hurt you, she whispered. I laughed, sharp, humorless. Too late for that. Brian looked at Emily like he was waiting for her to say something. Some confirmation that he mattered. She didn't even look back at him. I nodded toward the path. Go, Brian. Now. He hesitated, then walked past me without saying another word. Emily stood there alone, arms wrapped around herself. Mascara streaked down her face. You're really not going to say anything else? She asked. I've said enough, I said. I gave you years. I gave you everything I had. You threw it away for cheap lies and fake promises. I was lonely. Her voice cracked. You were distant, always tired. I didn't know how to talk to you anymore. So you gave yourself to someone else? She broke, full-on sobbing now. I'm sorry. I don't know what I was doing. I felt seen with him. I didn't think. I stepped back. Exactly. You didn't think. You didn't ask. You didn't try. She reached for me again, and I moved away. Don't touch me. I still love you, she said. No. You loved the attention. You loved being wanted. You didn't love me. Not like that. She sank onto the bench, hands covering her face. I looked down at her for a long second. I'm not your safety net anymore, Em. And with that, I turned around and walked back the way I came. The next morning, I didn't go to work. Again. Emily was already in the kitchen when I came downstairs. Her eyes were swollen. No makeup. Hair pulled back like she'd given up trying to hide anything. I didn't sit. I stood by the table and looked straight at her. We're done with pretending, I said. Tell me everything. She nodded. Slow. Like she'd been waiting for that moment. It started last December. At the company Christmas party. We were both drunk and it just happened. And it kept happening. She didn't even try to deny it. Yeah, I didn't stop it. I wanted to feel something again. You were always working. We barely talked. I was lonely. And he was there. So you just cheated. Lied. Snuck around for months. And that's your excuse. Tears started falling. But I didn't flinch. I was done being moved by guilt. I know I messed up, she whispered. I wasn't thinking. I didn't mean for it to go that far. I cut her off. You kept choosing him. Over and over. That's not an accident. That's who you became. She looked up, desperate. I want to fix this. Then quit your job. She blinked. What? You heard me. You cut him off. No contact. No work trips. No office gossip. I want him completely out of your world. She hesitated for a second, then nodded. Okay, I'll quit. You start therapy. Solo. Weekly. You show me receipts. And you hand over every password, phone, laptop, socials. No more hiding. Not one damn thing. Okay, she said again, wiping her face. I'm not promising anything, I said. I don't know if I can forgive you. I don't know if I even want to. She broke again, covering her face with her hands. I didn't move to comfort her. I need space, I said. You stay at your sister's for now. I'll be here, thinking, watching. She nodded without arguing. That surprised me. Maybe she knew this was the only shot she had left. I watched her pack a bag and leave without another word. After the door closed, I sat down at the kitchen table and let the silence hit me. It didn't feel like an ending. It felt like the first honest breath I'd taken in a year. Not just for the marriage, but for myself. Because now I knew exactly where I stood. And I wasn't going back to being blind. Not ever again.